Hey guys, we're back again this week with Faz Radio. Titan is not muting his microphone, so I'd like to start again.
All right, hang on.
Hey guys, welcome to Faz Radio this week. We're going over, I don't know what the hell we're going over. What are we going over, Titan? We've just started.
I muted so that my clunks wouldn't bother you. So we are.
This is our actual start.
Yeah. So
we're rolling with it.
Let's call it trending crypto interest rates.
Trending crypto interest rates. Hopefully I got this spelled right. Let's see what happens if I click that button. There we go. Go for it. Begin. What you got?
Twitter this week was blowing up with a lot of different news about BlockFi yet again for the second time this year, lowering the interest yields on the crypto deposits. And there's a lot of other places you can put your money to get some yield. I mean, we could spend days, if not weeks, discussing all the different DAOs that are out there, the different companies that will give you yield. There's yield farming. What I was hoping to talk a little about today and get some thoughts on from you guys and share some of my opinions as well is BlockFi lowering those interest rates again. They're down, I think it was, 4%, came down from 4.5% to 4% on small amounts of Bitcoin. This is to a point where we knew it wasn't going to last forever, getting 11% on Bitcoin deposits or some of these other tokens that they'll pay a yield on. I know Gemini jumped into the game not too long ago, putting out a program where you can earn Gemini Earn on the crypto that you hold there. There's Nexo, which is based in another country, which made some people nervous at first. And all of them have different services. You can get crypto credit cards where they're going to pay you back in a certain percentage of Bitcoin for every purchase you make. You have boosters where at some places, if you own the platform token, you can get a bump in your interest rate. There's other ones where you have other things that you have to do to get a higher rate. Do any of you guys put your money in BlockFi, Nexo, or any Gemini Earn programs?
As I said, I'm not really massively into it at the moment. I obviously follow
Wait, we need to introduce you because we forgot to introduce you. This is Mal from the Discord, from the CryptoFaz Discord. Continue, Mal.
Sorry, I'm Titan as well. So Titan was just the one who asked the question. So I want to respond by saying I don't like all the extra requirements. Do this, do that, do this, and do that, and have this and own that. It's getting a little bit too many now. You have this LP token, and with that LP token, you stake it for this, and then that can then be staked for this, and then it all eventually comes back to the first coin that they had in the first place. So I haven't been following it as much, but I do like that there are options to earn that are better than the banking system, because I think it's very important that people understand that time passes anyway. You know, every year goes by whether we want it to or not. So if you're just sitting on your money or your crypto, then it's best to have it in something that at least, even if it's 3% a year, it's still better than nothing. So that's my opinion on it. But do a lot of research and most of all check out how long your money is locked for, and any like terms and conditions, because someone might stake one thing, not realize, like you said, Titan, that you have to also do this to get a boost and that to get a boost and put this thing in there. So that's where I'm pretty at with it at the moment.
Well, I myself am doing quite a bit of that kind of stuff. I have some money on Gemini, and I have some money on BitTrue, a little bit of money on Coinbase, and BlockFi. And I think that's it. Each of them get a certain amount of yield for stuff that you stake over there. I call it loaning rather than staking on like Gemini. I'm not sure what BitTrue is actually doing with the Power Piggy that they have. I think all this stuff is new, and all these companies are trying to figure out the best way to do it. There also is, of course, decentralized ways of staking things like Cardano. You could stake and actually get like a 5% return on that, so it's kind of a good deal. Tron, you could stake. There's a number of others that you can stake, and I think even some third-party decentralized staking stuff is going on. I'm not exactly sure of the companies that do that, not companies, but coins that do that right now. But there are a lot of things out there. I'm just holding my stuff anyway, so why not? I'm splitting my funds up between centralized and decentralized. I really don't trust all of my Bitcoin on BlockFi. I've heard some negative things about BlockFi, heard some negative things about these others. So I'm putting a little bit of I have Kraken too. I'm staking DOT on Kraken and Kava on Kraken. So each coin seems to have a place where you can get the most yield from. What's that? BitTrue now allows staking of Gala, so I have some Gala on there. Obviously, the large bulk of my Gala is not on BitTrue because they're an exchange after all. If you don't own the keys, it's not your wallet. So I'll say your results may vary, or be careful.
I'm the same. I use Kraken for DOT. I mean, you can't pass up the rates they currently have. I did notice, though, something quite interesting. The correlation between token price and yield paid. So a great example of that would be I have a token that I got into when it first started called AMP, and that has the website staking as well, the decentralized one, and you could split it between staking it with Gemini before it came out on the platform, and the native one as well. And so they were both paying, I think it was 7% when I started, and that was when the token was sub 1 penny. Now that the token is up over 5 cents, the yield on that has dropped to 3%. When you look at these rate changes with BlockFi and Nexo bringing their rates down a little bit, and you look at how the price of Bitcoin has come up over 30,000, it hit 65, I think, at one point. These rates keep dropping. I wonder how much of that is the greed factor versus how many people are just not using it.
I got a feeling not a lot of people are aware, if we're being honest. I bet most people in crypto have probably heard the terms, but as Faz says, there's a lot of negativity, and putting your crypto in something where you do not own the keys means you do not own the crypto. That's just fact. So,
well, let's be a little honest about this. Right now, everybody is investing their stuff in centralized banks. I have a 401k plan right now. Is that my money? Yes and no. They own the account. If for some reason they want to screw me around, they can, and it's going to take me a while to get my money out. Crypto, we're saying not your keys, not your wallet, to say a negative thing about, well, then it's just like regular cash. So what's the difference?
well, it really won't be a difference soon. One's digital, one's not. But my point is, it isn't your crypto because it can be taken off you, and in some cases they don't even need to give you a reason. They don't have the regulation. One day when there's regulation, exchanges won't just be able to just say, well, you broke this silly little term, you're not getting your money back. Like, there were people being done for degree and arb on BitTrue, and they were not of any sort doing that, but Bitrue has no definition of it. You can find no definition. They won't even tell you one when you complain, and they can just seize your funds. So, my opinion, centralized exchange, crypto's not yours. Doesn't mean they're going to steal it or anything like that, obviously, but just have a very, very realistic point of they can easily find a rule. They could pack up. A lot of them, I mean, they're becoming more licensed and stuff like that, but and what I'm saying is a very extreme version, but as I say, Bitrue is, to people I know, sees $10,000 or more, and it's been no explanation why. You just broke a rule. A bit like how Twitter's just closed down the Splinterlands account, and I'll just give them absolutely no reason or rule that they broke. They can just do that because it's centralized, and it's so with the 40, like with when you're saying about, like, you know, do you own the money in the 401k? Well, I'm sure there's plenty of reasons they could find to take that off you. So I would just say no. I think there's more of a common courtesy that they probably shouldn't do that, because then it's not good overall, which I think applies to exchanges as well. If they were to go on a crazy sort of season mission, then they would just lose all credibility. And would they let everyone pull the money out is another point I want to get to, because there's been times where when the market dropped, both Bitrue and Binance, there was, you know, maintenance at roughly that same time, and that was just because people were just withdrawing their money. People just didn't want it on there. So, you know, is it really your crypto once it's on an exchange? I would argue no. Maybe someone disagrees. Faz usually always disagrees, but I would definitely say it isn't yours, because it can be taken off you in a heartbeat. If it's in your wallet, you control it.
Yeah,
So,
that's huge, because I have that problem right now. I don't want us to get sued, so I'm not going to mention where. But there has been a period of time where there's been what they call wallet maintenance. And that wallet maintenance started in October of 2020. And the wallet maintenance is still going on. You can't do anything except buy and sell. I can't get those tokens off the platform. I can't stake them. And funny how it is, that token just came out with its own wallet that provides a 6% yield. It's funny how that works sometimes. So I'm with Faz, as he mentioned. I put a portion of the tokens and coins that I have on these yield-bearing staking platforms or interest-bearing accounts, but I'm keeping the vast majority of it in cold storage. They have with Ledger now. I don't know about Trezor. I haven't looked lately. So the last time I did look, they did not have any of those programs. But I know Ledger has a few where you can stake directly from Ledger, which adds that layer of security and keeps the tokens quite a bit safer. They have a loan program where you can loan out some of the stable coins and get a decent return on those. I think right now where this all came from is the fact that these BlockFis and these Nexos want you to utilize their loan programs. And so they keep the spread on that. They have to keep the spread reasonable for people. So you can take out a loan. A lot of times they start it pegged at like 50% of whatever you have on the platform. And you can then, if you have $1,000 worth of Bitcoin, you can get a loan for $500. And they'll charge you 8% interest on the loan, but hey, we're paying you 4% on that Bitcoin. So it lowers the spread and generates more, I think, business for their loan platform, I think, is the big rub on that. And that's where I was questioning, hey, is this more out of the greed side of it? Or is this, I don't see how BlockFi has to be lowering these for any other reason.
Well, Gemini actually is pretty open about why they do stuff like that. Gemini is like, hey, we're seeing not as much of a demand for, Bitcoin or something that you've staked your stuff in. And That's why we're lowering rates. When people want it more, then we'll raise rates because we need to have more on hand. So that's probably one reason.
I think it's much easier as well for someone like. So I had my Zilliqa staked, and I was also I had me V changes sitting in a wallet, and I was earning V4. And those two combined, I think, was giving me on average when the prices were up, I was getting something like 80 pence to £1 a day. I think that's maybe like $1.50 a day or something like that at the time. You know, and that was, I must have only had it must have only been a couple of thousands worth combined. So I know in England, I think if you had about 10 grand in an ISA or some sort of cash account, you were only looking at like 10p a month interest. So to be getting 80 pence to £1 merely for holding crypto every day, I found to be quite an amazing feature. It like when you stake your Zilliqa, it takes a month, I think. Well, it says about 2 weeks, but it works out about a month, I think, overall before you get your coins back, your tokens back. Sorry. So I think it's definitely a very useful thing, especially with the stables. But I think a lot of these places are trying to fill a role of a bank, like a crypto bank almost, where they're just taking the money and lending it. It's obviously what banks do. If anyone who is listening doesn't know, you know, if everyone went to the bank and asked to take the money out, guess what the answer would be? Same as if everybody tried to do that with an exchange. So I think paying attention to the options that aren't centralized is also worth noting. Like, as I say, Zilliqa has a 15% yearly return, which I think is brilliant. Cardano is a 5%. VeChain, I don't know. I'm sure there's a set amount of V4 you can earn a day. I can't remember the number. But these are all great ways to sort of earn money on your money that's just sitting there.
I think portions are good, yeah. I want to see how this evolves as well because, again, being so new, I think maybe some of them overextended themselves at first just to garner the assets, to say that they have 100 million in Bitcoin under management, so that could help them in other facets of their business. I think overall it's going to hurt them in the long term. But that is the rub too on the psychological side is you say, oh, well, if I take my US dollars and throw them in a savings account in the bank, I'm getting 0.03%. Well, if I just take that instead and buy a small amount of Bitcoin, I can get 4% or 3%. And to them, that is a phenomenal return when we know in reality that's total rubbish.
It sounds like we have some pretty good stuff here for this one. We're going to keep this short so that we can get on to another subject.
Yeah, I just want to say it's a pleasure, as always, speaking to you both. If anyone's not aware of the Faz Discord, I would certainly get the link that's going to be in the description. Faz will make sure and join. There are some amazing conversations, and we can probably do this 10 times a day because we all love talking about crypto. So if anyone has a topic and does listen to the show, please feel free to DM me, Titan, or Faz, and let us know a topic that you'd like us to discuss.